got a little tense when the Black Panthers came out here chanting that they wanted reparations and a number of other things. That sort of changed the atmosphere. People were dancing to the YMCA a little bit and singing along to Sweet Caroline, which you can either read as some kind of bipartisan nod towards the music list and selection of President Trump's rallies, or mocking him, depending on how much bipartisan spirit you have when you're interpreting the news today, Brett.
All right, Leland, thank you very much. I'm sure the crowd's not going anywhere anytime soon. We appreciate it. Let's bring in Katie Pavlich. Who else do we have, Martha?
We've got Mark Thiessen and Karl Rove.
Excellent. I knew we had more than just Katie. But Katie, let's wrap up your thoughts of this night and where we go from here in the next, we've got a few months here before an inauguration.
Yeah.
This is Biden's night, but we're not through the Trump administration.
Yeah, I think Monday morning will really tell the story about how far the Trump campaign can push on these legal proceedings they're trying to get in the courts. They continue to say that they have evidence of voter fraud that they keep presenting. I think Monday will tell the story about how long this goes on, whether they prevail or whether President Trump will, as John Roberts was reporting, concede sometime sooner than that. But in terms of the battle ahead, I think the Senate races, the runoffs in Georgia really are key here. It's a difference of Mitch McConnell having a majority, obviously, and Chuck Schumer becoming the next majority leader. That race will be about holding the line in the Senate and being a check on Joe Biden rather than, over any other issue, really. And so you've had a number of Republican senators saying they need all hands on deck there. You've had a number of fundraising emails going out today asking for money for those runoff races. The left is emboldened now as they believe that Joe Biden has won this race. They would love to take Georgia and away from the Republicans at this point, despite them winning the vote total right now. So that, I think, is going to be the key focus for Republicans moving forward outside of the Trump campaign, which is still focused on the issues and legalities that they've seen, as Jonathan Turley was just discussing, in places like Pennsylvania and even Michigan, and the vote total continuing to be counted in Arizona.
Karl, you are a historian as well as someone who has worked in the White House. The silence at this moment from President Trump is kind of tells us a lot, I think. And he's tweeting, as he always does, but this is a president who speaks to the American people sometimes several times in a day. And I wonder what your thoughts are as we look at all those people outside the White House tonight. And John Roberts has told us that it's pretty dark in the private residences upstairs right now.
Yeah. Well, look, the president is facing some big decisions, and those decisions, I think, Monday is going to be an important day for him with these lawsuits. Katie's right. Now, I don't think it's going to get resolved quickly. I think it's going to take several days for some of these cases to be taken up. Some of them may be quickly rejected. Some of them may be show more promise for the administration, but they've got to run those strings out. I mean, you can understand. I mean, he has spent 4 years in that place, and he put out a heck of a campaign as he came down the end. I've never seen such energy. You know, Bob Dole had 96 hours where he campaigned, continually in 1996. But we saw day after day after day in that final week of the president on the campaign trail. He left everything on the field. So he's got a right to do that. And well, I don't think we're going to see 1800 when John Adams left town before Thomas Jefferson was inaugurated at noon.
Yeah. Mark, final word here.
Yeah, so Brett, you and I were in the Pentagon together, and one of Rumsfeld's rules when it came to intelligence is that the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. So the absence of evidence that North Korea has a nuclear program doesn't mean there isn't a nuclear program. And the same thing happens with voter fraud. The absence of evidence that there was voter fraud doesn't mean that in the Reid machine in Nevada and the Democratic machine in Philadelphia weren't